North American. You know what I'm saying? I mean,
Yay.
they don't listen or they don't see very much about the things that we have in Mexico. Lucha Libre, it's very, very popular for the people is there. It's just very much like the soccer. You know, soccer in Mexico is like, wow.
People in the United States have no clue about soccer, but down there in Mexico, they love the hell out of it.
And the Mexicans that has been living here for years, or they born here from, they have Mexican parents, but they born in United States, they don't have that culture, that idea. But if you go to Mexico City, oh my God, it's like lucha libre and soccer is one of the main things. I mean, by the way, I mean, I like lucha libre, but the old one, yeah, I like El Santo.
El Santo, that's right. The
original. Blue Demon.
Blue Demon, that's right. Oh my God, we could get into a conversation about lucha libre here.
Oh yeah.
You know Blue Demon, you know El Santo.
El Santo,
awesome.
yeah. And I like soccer too. One of my favorites team is Cruz Azul. So if somebody there is listening,
I know about soccer because I know Carlos Valderrama from Brazil. He's got the big wild hair.
Oh yeah, yeah, El Pibe.
Yeah.
El Pibe Valderrama.
Yes. Pele does the damn Subway commercials now. I don't know what
Pele and El Pibe Valderrama. Yeah, they all end up doing TV commercials. Like, I don't know.
That's awesome. Yes, El Santo was a movie star in Mexico too.
Huge, and actually the movies he used to make now have they have them in France. In France, is part of a museum now.
Oh really?
They consider this kind of movies like a jewel, like a diamond of movie era. I don't know.
Wow.
But they were popular. They were very, very bad. But I like them though.
See, that's the thing. I've seen some of them on YouTube, and they're it's a bunch of guys in lucha masks running around doing things.
Yeah.
Santo running around in the suit. And,
I know. And then you have like El Santo versus the vampire woman, and it's like, okay, but it was. Well,
the vampire woman, I think I dated her one time.
And you know what? The thing is a classic. It's a classic. If you go to Mexico and say, have you seen the El Santo movies or Blue Demon movies? It's like, oh yeah. I mean, everybody has seen those, and it's like it's a classic. It's like, yeah.
See, I always thought they did a what the hell was it? The Jack Black movie, Nacho Libre.
Nacho Libre.
I think it's the character in the movie is Ramses, and it's played by oh God, I always thought it should have been played by Dr. Wagner from Lucha Libre.
Oh, yeah.
But I think it's his cousin. Oh God, what the hell was his name?
I don't remember, and I watched the movie.
Yes, and I don't know. I'm not a fan of that particular. I'm gonna find out who this guy is once we get off the air and you're gone, like an idiot that I am. but I know that in Mexico they have AAA wrestling,
yes,
which is Conan's group, yes, and then they have CMLL, and CMLL is out of Arena, Mexico.
Yeah, exactly.
Now, what the hell is the deal? Arena, Mexico, and CMLL. I've noticed over the years CMLL is kind of just. It's kind of gone down the crapper over the last couple of years. A lot of you don't really hear about them much anymore. You hear more AAA than anything.
Why? Because AAA, a very, very huge network in Mexico named Televisa is the one that puts the money for them.
Televisa Deportes.
Exactly. Televisa Network puts the money for the AAA. So they have more production.
Oh, and they're funding.
Exactly. And CLL is like more like it was the original one actually.
Yes.
And the El Santo,
that's
Blue
El
Demon,
Santo, Blue Demon,
Huracán Ramírez,
yes,
El Perro Aguayo. They came from that.
All of them. Yes.
And then they opened the AAA that is more theater and more cartoon.
It's more like WWE.
Exactly. So they put this music, and here comes the guy like all cocky.
They've got the AAA loves their midgets.
Yeah, they have that kind of.
They have as they refer to them in Mexico as exotics, What we refer to them in the United States as transsexuals.
Well, yeah, exactly.
Cheese, all that crap.
See, that's what I'm saying. They are making it more like a circus than it's a lucha libre. I mean, it's just like, no. And the original lucha libre, I think, is gone now, because when you have like I said, El Santo, Blue Demon, Huracan Ramirez, all those ones in the 60s, 70s were like real fighters.
Now you got guys like La
Parca.
La Parca. There's two of them. There's the original, which is La Parca or L.A. Park. I think he can be La Parca now.
Yeah.
And then there's the fake La Parca, which is what was it? La Parca Jr.?
La Parca Jr.
I'm like, get the hell out of here.
Exactly. I know. I know. And you used to have Latin Lover. It was a guy named Latin Lover.
Latin Lover.
Exactly.
He got on the Mexican Dancing with the Stars at one time.
Exactly. And he won. He won the contest.
Oh, he won. I didn't know he actually won Mexican Dancing with the Stars.
He jumped to the TV shows, and now he's in an ugly I'm sorry, but I have to say this. People, if you're listening to me in Mexico, if you watch that show of Sabadazo on Saturdays where this guy is at, I mean, seriously.
Fantastic.
I'm sorry, but I feel sorry for you.
Feel sorry for
really
you.
bad. Really bad.
And then there's Perros de Mal in AAA with Perro Aguayo and
Perro Aguayo, and I think at one point it was a guy named
Joe Leader's in their group. Octagon. Yes, indeed. And then of course there's my favorite Minnie, and he's like a celebrity all over the planet, Mascarita Sagrada.
Mascarita Sagrada, yeah. Because the original Mascara Sagrada now is somewhere else. I think he's here in the United States.
Yes.
No, I love it. He knows.
I love the little tiny Mascarita Sagrada. The other guys, there's two guys, and they were in AAA, and I don't know what the hell they were actually called. But they dressed up like chupacabras.
Oh, I think I have seen them, but I don't know.
Yes, the little tiny guy.
And then you have a guy that is dressed like a clown, and I think his name is.
Oh, yes. And then of course there's the Psycho Clowns, the Psycho Circus.
I know about the.
I've always thought that the Psycho Circus, if they were ever to come to the United States, they'd be the biggest damn things here. Because they dress up like clowns, and everybody loves clowns. I always thought the Psycho Circus should have wrestled with Juggalo Championship Wrestling, which is the Insane Clown Posse's wrestling company.
I know.
And, let's see, who else down there? Who else down there they have in Mexico? There's this guy, and he's in me and Cousin Chris from Jiggy Jag TV. We love watching. Chris can't stand the guy, but they beat the hell out of him all the time. Joe Leader. Oh, this guy gets beat up constantly, going through tables, falling off cages. Anytime you want to beat the hell out of some Mexican, bring out Joe Leader. I don't know what the deal is.
You want a piñata.
They beat the hell out of him constantly. And a couple weeks ago, I was watching AAA, and he had joined Perros de Mal. And I'm like, well, okay, they've jumped the shark. It's about over for that group. It's like, what are you doing here? And let's see, what else is there in?
There was one that was very, very famous for a while, and now he is here. He is in the Místico.
He is back in. Mexico.
Oh, really? I didn't know.
He wrestles for AAA, and they named him Mystices or something.
I don't know, but when he was in Mexico, it was El Místico, and everybody was in love with El Místico.
People loved the hell out of that guy.
El Místico.
And he left CMLL and went to WWE, and they named him Sin Cara.
Sin Cara, yeah.
And then he ended up leaving WWE, going back to Mexico. And they still have a Sin Cara in WWE, but it's a guy by the name of Hunico portrays the Sin Cara character. And but Mystico is back in AAA, and also another guy who is back in AAA. He's in the United States. He was known as Alberto Del Rio, but that was the old Dos Caras Jr. I don't know if you remember Dos Caras Jr. at all.
I do.
Yes. He had a failed stint in an MMA fight in Japan against Mirko Krokop. He had to wear his mask, and he got kicked in the head, and that was the end of it for him.
Oops.
But
oops.
But I think that is so awesome that you know about AAA and Lucha Libre and professional wrestling down there in Mexico.
I'm gonna tell you something that my mom says. My mom says is like, I don't know how, but you have so much information in your brain.
Hey,
garbage.
I have been told that by many people. I have references to the 50s and the 60s that I'll throw out at people, and they're like, how the hell did you learn all this crap?
Yeah, and then my mom is...
hit it up great, then. She's the same way. It's like you ask her about anything, and she just like, it's like you just open up the sources.
Ask me about the...
That's awesome.
The Simpsons, awesome. from cartoons, from garbage information to really cultural information.
Now of course, I cannot end a Lucha Libre conversation with apparently someone who knows a hell of a lot about Lucha Libre. I'll tell you, we could sit around with popcorn and watch AAA for 3 hours and be entertained as hell.
Yeah, I like that though.
Now, the guy, and I don't know if it's because I'm a bodybuilding fan or what it is. The guy couldn't wrestle a lick. He knew a clothesline and a body slam, and I think you probably know what I'm talking about. Gronda.
Yeah, no. He was very much like another guy that named it El Vampiro Canadiense.
Oh, yes, Vampiro.
Exactly. And they were like, okay, yeah, I don't think the talent is there. But the face and the body, yes, it was there.
Gronda ended up, he was in AAA, and then he left AAA and went to CMLL, and they renamed him Gronda Triple X because, of course, Antonio Pena owned his name. And then they stuck some other guy in the Gronda outfit.
Yeah.
I interviewed at one point, and it was actually on this Sunday radio show at one point, or we aired it on the Sunday radio show. I interviewed Conan at one time. And I asked him, I said, I got a question. I said, I don't understand this crap. I said, in Mexico, if somebody leaves, like with Gronda or La Parca or somebody, and they leave, and they just stick some other guy in the outfit, and the Mexicans are like, okay, it's La Parca, let's cheer him like he's La Parca.
Well, you can see his face.
And he's like, well, in Mexico, people fall in love with the character.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly.
In the United States, there's no way in the United States that we could take some random guy and name him Hulk Hogan, and people would know who they would immediately go, that's not Hulk Hogan, that's some other guy you've named Hulk Hogan. But in Mexico, yes, if we put some scrub off the street in the La Parca gimmick, and we say, okay, he's La Parca now, all these little Mexican girls are going to be like, La Parca!
Yeah,
no!
that's a catch, because you can't see the face, so you can put whoever.
Anybody you want.
Even though, if you take the mask out of the, for example, La Parca, let's say that.
Yes.
You take the mask off, and it's like, you see him, and it's like, oh my god, no, he's not hot anymore.
Mystico, after Mystico left and went to WWE, they came up with another Mystico down there in CMLL. And it was like some, I don't know who it was, but they referred to him as Mystico 2 or Mystico Jr. or something. I don't think the guy ever really got over. But yes, this is fantastic. I might just have to have you back on at one point. We'll just talk wrestling for 2 hours.
Sure.
Have you come on and talk wrestling?
No problem.
Because we used to do a wrestling show. And me and Cousin Chris and Mike Game would get into all sorts of arguments over all sorts of things. Cousin Chris from Jiggy Jag TV, he sort of likes Lucha Libre. He doesn't quite understand it. he doesn't understand why they have that match in AAA where they all put him in a steel cage and they all got to get the hell out of there. And the last guy left in the ring gets his head shaved.
Yeah.
But I've never understood that part of it. But he's never understood that part of lucha libre. But and then there's I watched a documentary at one point about lucha libre, and you mentioned this kind of earlier. In the fact that it's all sort of local, and there's like little towns that have their own little lucha libre, and at one point, I guess that's how that whole thing started.
Yeah, well, it was like more local, and then I don't know, between the 1940s, I guess, it begins to be more popular.
Yeah.
And then when the Santo went in the big screen, playing this kind of hero, it was no fantasy. It was just a real person,
Yes.
And I think that made the lucha libre more popular, because in that movies you have El Santo and Blue Demon. That was the couple that was like emblem for this kind of movies.
Yeah.
And they were famous, and then they were wrestling too.
Yes.
So you go to see them because it's the same ones you see in the movies, and it's like, oh yeah, there is El Santo and there is Blue Demon. So they became to be more and more famous, and I think during the 90s is when the AAA was more bigger, and then it kind of went down.
Then of course they went downhill because all the everybody left and went to WCW. Rey Mysterio, Eddie Guerrero, all of them.
Exactly.
They all left. Let's get the hell out of Mexico. I heard that Teddy Hart, who he wrestles off and on for AAA, I heard that he gets paid $25 a night down there.
I don't think so. I don't know about that. I don't know about that. But
I'm like, get the hell out of here! You were talking about $4 at Pizzaco's earlier. you actually are getting paid more money than Teddy Hart gets paid in AAA.
I will tell them make yourselves as singers.
That's right. Get the hell out of wrestling and go be a singer.
Yeah. No, but I make that joke that when you are like in a box.
Oh yeah, like coming into a boxing arena.
120 pounds from Plevna, Kansas.
That's awesome.
Exactly. She picks on me.
I love her to death.
There you go. Now, what do we have left? I know that you guys have a couple songs you want to do for us here. So,
okay.
What's going to be the next one that we're going to hear from you guys?
Well, we'll go ahead and maybe show you a little taste of what's going to happen on our second album with Rebound and Grace.
That's cool.
So this one here is called Tranquilizing Eyes.